Hi everyone, this is Dr. Nitin Chhoda and welcome to this episode of Ignition Time. Thank you so much for being a viewer. Thank you so much for being a subscriber. If you don't know anything about me, please check out my video. You'll learn more about who I am, what my journey has been like and why you should listen to me. Also, if you learn something new from this video, please gently tap that like button and I want you to ignite that subscribe button. Most of our viewers are now subscribers, which is unusual for a YouTube channel because it seems like our YouTube channel is being pushed by YouTube and is being promoted by YouTube. So I greatly appreciate you, and I want you to know that my team and I work very hard to earn your trust every single day. With that being said, let's just jump right in. I'm going to talk to you about the potential scenarios for stimulus, the potential scenarios for our future depending on the outcome of the election. Now keep in mind that what's going to happen on November 3rd, nobody knows. I'm not an election forecaster, but I can tell you this much, that if there's no stimulus deal, and you'll see this tweet on your screen from Jeff Stein at the Washington Post, if there's no stimulus deal, then tens of thousands of airline workers will get laid off. In fact, that is already beginning. There's no federal supplement, no unemployment benefits for 20 plus million people, no booster, if you will, which by the way has already ended. I'm not just talking about a $600 a week booster, but also the $300 a week lost wages assistance program. Severe cuts and layoffs for restaurants and hotel workers. In fact, the industries that have been impacted the most are travel, leisure, hospitality, and entertainment. Individuals who are low wage earners and individuals who have less than high school education, African American, Latino individuals have been impacted more, women have been impacted more, mothers have been impacted more. That is just the nature of this pandemic and this unfair, unequal recovery, this K-shaped recovery in the pandemic. And also, stimulus checks 2.0 are not going to go out to millions of individuals who need money to pay rent, who need money to buy food, who need money to keep the lights on. We're talking about all this in the United States of America, yes. So this is the potential scenario now, but there are multiple scenarios that could actually play out depending on the outcome of the election. So before I get into the specifics of the election scenarios, let's define what a lame duck session of Congress means. So a lame duck session of Congress is one that takes place after the election of the next Congress has been held, but before the current Congress has reached the end of its constitutional term. So what that would mean is, let's say the Senate changes hands and the presidency goes former Vice President Joe Biden's way. The period between the election and the inauguration of the next president, which is scheduled to take place on the 20th of January 2021, is considered a lame duck session of Congress. Also a lame duck, if you Google this, the definition of lame duck is an official, especially the president, in the final period of office after the election of a successor. So, and there's another definition of lame duck if you Google it, an ineffectual or unsuccessful person or thing. I think that's funny. So let's get into the actual scenarios. There are real world implications to who wins the presidency. For argument's sake, let's just assume that the Democrats retain control of the House. We're just going to assume that for a second. Again, I don't know what's going to happen November 3rd. I don't know what's going to happen next month. I'm not an election forecaster. I'm just giving you scenarios here as a citizen journalist. And to me, whether you're a supporter of the president or whether you're a supporter of former Vice President Joe Biden, it's okay with me. I appreciate you. You are all welcome here on our channel on Ignition Time. Okay. So, let's just acknowledge that President Trump, would want to cut a deal in the lame duck. So, we never know what's going to happen after November 3rd. If you had asked me to predict what happened in the past 10 days, I don't think I would have been able to tell you that the president would test positive, the president would go to the hospital, the president would come out of hospital in a couple of days, the president would call off the negotiations, the president would want a piecemeal deal, House Speaker Pelosi would want standalone airline relief, House Speaker Pelosi would change her mind, the president would want a big deal, and then the Senate would want a limited package, an interim relief package next week, which the Democrats are not likely to support. All of this while having the HEROES Act, the updated version of the HEROES Act, a skinny targeted bill by the Republicans, which failed. I was able to say that in one take, because I've immersed myself in all of this for my viewers and subscribers. If you had asked me to predict any of this, I don't think I would have been able to. I don't think anybody in the world would have been able to predict everything that's been happening. Therefore, I'm going to shy away from predictions for the future. But one thing is for sure, if the election results come in well after November 3rd, if this is a drawn out election, it's going to be bad for stimulus. it's going to be bad for the stock market, because the stock market wants a decisive winner, whether it's President Trump or former Vice President Joe Biden. We all want some element of decisiveness. None of us want this to drag on while the country is in turmoil, while we don't know who the decision makers are for the next, for the next period of Congress, and while we are waiting for stimulus relief. So if the election results come in well after November 3rd, any legislation will indeed be put on hold. So if this becomes a long drawn out election, not only is stimulus unlikely in the next few weeks, but it's quite possible that stimulus may have to wait until January or even February of 2021, and this would throw everything into a flux, and it would generally complicate the entire landscape of stimulus, of legislations. It would actually complicate the stock market as well in the period from November all the way through January of next year. Now, there are many scenarios worth digging into, and I'm going to go over these scenarios with you now. Let's start with scenario one. Scenario one: Biden wins and Democrats win the Senate. Okay, again, scenario one: Biden wins and Democrats control the Senate. They retake control of the Senate. This, by the way, would mean a blue wave. And if this blue wave happens, and a lot of people have been talking about this, this could lead to absolute stagnation in the lame duck. In other words, during this period, Republicans at this point in time, led by Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell, will still be pushing for a package for liability reform and some sort of a piecemeal deal. And Democrats may actually filibuster that in the hopes of a better deal in 2021 when they retake control of all three branches of government. This is scenario one. Scenario two: former Vice President Joe Biden wins the presidency and Republicans keep control of the Senate. Okay, this is scenario two. Biden wins, Republicans keep the Senate. If this happens, if Biden becomes president and if Republicans maintain control of the Senate, this would mean presumably that the Republicans have a smaller majority in the Senate next year. Even if they have a majority, it could mean that they have a smaller majority, because generally individuals tend to vote along party lines in a ticket. So if Biden wins the presidency, there's also a chance that Democrats, even if they don't retake control of the Senate, they have more seats in the Senate, which means the Republicans have a smaller majority. If this happens, then the Republicans could be incentivized to make a deal, because they know that come January their majority is going to get smaller. Now keep in mind that if this does indeed happen, that the GOP will have a majority but a smaller majority in 2021, they would be incentivized to engage in a lame duck stimulus deal with President Trump still in office from November 2020 through January 2021. Now I want to be clear. Democrats could easily filibuster this and hope that Biden would do a better job and a bigger stimulus in 2021 with the GOP once Biden takes office. And also, there's the question: why would House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, who's already not doing a deal with the administration, why would she do a deal? Why would she not hold out? Because we have President Biden on the horizon. So this is something to consider. Now, the third scenario is that Trump wins and Republicans keep the Senate. In other words, things stay the way they are. Trump wins and Republicans keep the Senate. Now, a lot of polls tell us that this is unlikely, and this could also, by the way, produce a lame duck deal, because if Republicans maintain control of the Senate and President Trump is remains president, and the president has been pushing for a big stimulus deal, then there's a high probability that we will see a stimulus deal. So if you're paying attention to all of this closely, you'll see that in most cases there's a high probability of a stimulus deal. In some cases more than others, but things could play out in a strange way. You could look back at this video 30 days from today, 60 days from today, and then it's quite possible that one of these scenarios could work out. Speaking of scenarios, here's a final scenario. Trump wins, President Trump remains president of the United States, and Democrats take control of the Senate. So now this could lead to a highly unusual scenario, but nothing is unusual in DC. This could lead to President Trump working with outgoing Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer and Mitch McConnell to get the economy moving again. But then the question is, why would Schumer and McConnell and his majority cut a deal in the lame duck if Chuck Schumer was going to be Senate Majority Leader? Keep in mind, if Democrats retain control of the Senate, Chuck Schumer, who's now Senate Minority Leader, becomes Senate Majority Leader. Okay, and Mitch McConnell, who's now the Senate Majority Leader, will become the Senate Minority Leader. Think of, you know, the roles being reversed. That is what could happen if Democrats retain control of the Senate. And once again, if Democrats retain control of the Senate, this could lead to a highly energized President Trump working with outgoing Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer, as well as Mitch McConnell, to get the economy moving again. So, to be quite honest, all of these scenarios point to a possible stimulus deal post-election, and I'm hoping that the two sides come together. Now, I want to mention one more thing. Let's assume there is a blue wave, a full Democratic control in 2021. If Democrats control the Senate and the House, will Republicans help Democrats pass stimulus relief or not? Because if there is a deal to be had, Politico ventures that the answer to that question is yes, because at the end of the day, you know, we have to see how Republicans vote as well for the next stimulus deal. Lisa Murkowski from Alaska, Marco Rubio from Florida, Senator Todd Young from Indiana, Roy Blunt from Missouri, and Rob Portman from Ohio, and Pat Toomey from Pennsylvania are all Republicans who are either up for re-election or retiring, who could be part of a governing coalition for Democrats in 2021 if their leadership allows them to participate. So, if Republicans don't participate, according to Politico, think 2009 and the House's GOP calculus after the financial crisis, how will Democrats and how will Biden get something through? So there are all of these calculations to consider as we head into what is essentially the most complicated, the most intense, the most consequential election in our history. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. You'll also find the links to all our sources in the description section below. If you learned something new from this video, if this video has given you food for thought in terms of the scenarios, assuming that the Democrats control the House, because I did make that assumption, we could have 4 scenarios. So like I mentioned, there are 4 scenarios. Scenario 1, Biden wins, Democrats win the Senate. Scenario 2, Biden wins, Republicans keep the Senate. Scenario 3, Trump wins, Republicans keep the Senate. And scenario 4, Trump wins, Democrats take the Senate. These are the 4 permutations and combinations. Let me know what you think again in the comment section below. If you learned something new from this video, please consider sharing this video with friends and family. That would mean a lot to me personally. Also, again, please comment below and definitely check out our sources in the description section below. I appreciate you. Don't forget to click the like button, don't forget to subscribe, and don't forget to enable notifications. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. I hope you learned something new. My name is Dr. Nitin Chhoda with Ignition Time. If you don't know anything about me, please check out my video. You'll learn more about who I am, what my journey has been like, and why you should listen to me. Remember, we release videos at 2 p.m. East Coast time most days of the week. That's 2 p.m. East Coast time. You can get your cell phone out, send a text message with the word ignition or with the word time to 70,000, that's 70000, and then you'll get added to SMS alerts list. Now, if you want, you can also get on our email list. Simply go to ignitiontime.com/alerts. That's ignitiontime.com/alerts, and you'll get added to our email list going forward. Sometimes YouTube does not send out email notifications or notifications through the app. So what you can do is simply bookmark youtube.com/ignition time. That's youtube.com/ignition time. And then that way you're not dependent on notifications, and you can check out the homepage of our channel for all our latest videos. You're never going to miss a single video, and you can watch it at your convenience. Now, you can also follow us on Instagram. Simply go to ignition_time on Instagram. Find us on Instagram at ignition_time. That's our handle. And you can get exclusive content on Instagram. You can also follow us on Twitter. Our Twitter handle is also ignition_time. That's ignition_time. You'll get breaking news and alerts from us on Twitter. So we look forward to growing with you on Twitter. Also, please click like on our video if you learned something new. Please ignite the subscribe button. Remember, the name of our channel is Ignition Time, and also enable notifications so you get instant updates from us going forward. Remember, once again, we release videos at 2 p.m. East Coast time most days of the week. All the links to our sources, to our news sources, are always found in the description section below. If you learned something new from this video, please consider clicking like, please subscribe, please enable notifications, and also please comment below and participate with us and engage with us in our growing community. We find that our community, which is growing, which is respectful, which consists of highly astute, highly intelligent individuals, is a very valuable part of what we have to offer as our channel. And oftentimes, I think you'll get valuable insight from our community, oftentimes more so than what you get in the videos, because I think the collective insight of the community is significantly greater than what I can offer you. Thank you so much. I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next episode of Ignition Time. Take care. Bye.